Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Psychic Cup, showcasing another very powerful team featuring Malamar. Could very well be the best Pokemon in the entire meta. How they let a dark type slip through the cracks in terms of bans is beyond me, but it's in the bag on this team, along with Galarian Rapidash. So, depending on what team you're up against, Rapidash can either be the safe swap or the closer. And also on the team, never the safe swap or the closer because it's the lead, Galarian Slowking. This thing you guys all know by now. Amazing in this meta and is proving to be a very strong lead. It's very likely the best team you can possibly run in the Psychic Cup. Very balanced, very flexible, very strong. And here we go. Rapidash on the lead. They make a play into a Claydol. This thing is seeing increased play with the rise of the Galarian bros. We're going to bait with a Surf here. We did build up to the Shadow Ball, and now we're going to bank that residual energy and make the play into Malamar after seeing them shield. So Malamar, again, easily could be the best Pokemon in the entire meta because it can do either super effective damage or neutral damage in very limited circumstances. Basically, for all intents and purposes, does super effective to just about everything and takes resisted damage more often than not. Going for another foul play here. They're not giving up any shields as they've already expended one, and we just cannot quite get to that foul play to pressure this unicorn here. But that is okay. They've only built up to a body slam here. We can let this go and look to maybe get that final shield. Not really sure what could be lurking in the back, so we're going to go for a Surf. Even if they let it go, does some meaningful neutral damage here to this unicorn. They do let it go. And they've got a Galarian king of their own in the back. And we got a shield here. So we are going right for this super effective high horsepower. And we're saying bye-bye to the Galarian Slowking. Oh my goodness, that was so satisfying. And now it is just about smooth sailing from here. We absolutely destroyed that king. I don't blame them for no shielding, as a lot of Rapidash trainers do get a bit bait happy in this meta because they get to these moves very fast with Fairy Wind. We just double shield everything. We've got the back-to-back here, and they do let it go, realizing that we did have the back-to-back, and that is it. This team, very powerful. Good game, well played to our opponent. This is a very, very, very strong and effective team for this meta. And the reason why is because it's very flexible. And here we go. Victini lead. Not bad for us. Of course, we can hit for super effective all across the board. I don't believe we win the ones. I'm quite sure we don't win the zeros. So I'm going to shield up the first V-Create. And they're often forced to swap as their defense is lowered by 3 stages by throwing one of those. Gonna go right for this Shadow Ball and say bye-bye to a very annoying unicorn. You love to see it. Oh, so satisfying. I'm sure they were expecting a bait, knowing that most Galarian Slowking trainers will bait a unicorn, knowing how squishy they are. But they are back in on this Victini here. We do tank a V-Create comfortably. And now we're going to look to get one of those shields back. This will take out this thing if they don't... Oh, they don't shield. So they're putting a lot of hope and faith into a shiny Claydol here, we see. And, yeah, we're going to throw our own unicorn in here to start putting the pressure on with the body slam spam here. Going to go for body slam number 1 here. And, yeah, this is looking pretty good. We just have to throw with proper timing. We don't want to give them any more energy than necessary. Going for body slam number 2 here. And now we're going to throw 1 and catch the move onto Malamar. Why? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's pretty much over at this point, unfortunately, for this Claydol here. Its only good use, in my humble opinion, is to shut down the bros as well as some steel types that we are seeing come to prominence, most notably Metagross. Holy smokes. People are running Metagross in a Great League format, but that is the nature of this Psychic Cup meta. It can do okay. And up against the fairies, of course. But we shield that. Go for the foul play. We've been debuffed, but it's still enough to take out the Claydol. Malamar coming in clutch this time to close strong. You love to see it. Good game, well played to them. Yeah, guys, if you have access to all three of these Pokemon, I would highly, highly recommend this team. Very effective, very flexible. And here we go, another Unicorn lead. They make a play into a Bruxish. I've not seen nearly as many of these. I think the usage has dropped off quite a bit as people see through the veil with this very annoying fish here. It's sort of a one-trick pony. You need those shields. And it is a tap-tap Pokemon for sure, and I think people are realizing that. It's really not all that great. They do go for the resisted Psychic Fangs. Triple resisted Psychic Fangs. I was thinking perhaps they would go for the Aqua Tail, but they don't. And we are going to go for this foul play. They do cut the losses, let it go on even shields, and we have energy to spare due to our overfarm. And we're going to go for a foul play on this Unicorn. Does about half of its health. That's neutral damage, my friends. Holy smokes. That's the power of Malamar in this meta. So now we're going to come back in with our Slowking. And depending on how attack weighted this thing is, if it's a high horsepower, it should KO, and it does. So they're likely running a Hatch IV Unicorn. But we're down to our own Unicorn remaining here. Backs up against the wall a little bit, but we are very, very spammy, and we do comfortably tank a foul play, no problem, from a Malamar. And as we can see, they comfortably tank a body slam from us, but we do outpace. And we are hitting for super effective with our fairy winds here. So we knew that we were going to have to shield one of these foul plays. It does a sizable amount of neutral damage, which is very, very unfortunate. But we're going to overfarm by 3 here just to be safe. To be honest, I had lost track of the energy. And I knew that we would outpace here, even with 3, overfarming by just 3 and not 4. Going for Body Slam number 1, grabbing the shield. They want to put up a fight, and that is A-okay, because we've got Body Slam number 2 locked and loaded, saying bye-bye to the opposing Unicorn. So as you can see, guys, Rapidash or Malamar can close on this team. Very flexible, very strong. Good game, well played. This Malamar team really puts in work in the Psychic Cup for sure. And here we go, Malamar lead. You got to be reading the Malamar variation of team number 2 from my top 5 best teams, and that is exactly what we read, guys. I always say it on this channel. When you create a team, you know how to beat it. So this is calculated, knowing fully that this is the Malamar variation of Team 2, which I did suggest. I ran it with Medicham originally, and I did heavily suggest that you could run Malamar if you were uncomfortable with Medi. So we draw out this Bro because we know that we hard wall it, and what we wanted to do was grab a shield, so we baited with the Body Slam, as they do generally get one shot by a high horsepower, and they don't want to have to lose switch or give up 2 shields, so they often throw earlier than necessary. And we say bye-bye to the Bro after overfarming a little bit here, and then you immediately pivot into your own Malamar, and it is over. Like I said, when you create a team, you know exactly how to dissect it and destroy it, which is exactly what we will do here. When we pivot into Malamar, they often pivot into their own Slowking, which they have lurking in the back. Again, this is the Malamar variation of team number 2 from my top 5 best teams. People seem to be taking the advice, and they are running Malamar in the place of Medicham. So this is smooth sailing. We tank a Shadow Ball, and that Malamar cannot farm us down with triple resisted Psycho Cuts, which is why we were okay getting low. There's no universe where they are farming down, and we are absolutely loaded here. This is over. We will grab a shield here. Coming up likely on the second foul play. They do survive, but they know that we have another very healthy Pokemon, so they shield here. And now I'm going to flex a little bit and let them take out our own Malamar. Could have easily taken this out with our own, but I want to assert a little dominance here. We knew we were very close to a Shadow Ball, and we could take this with our King at a severe type disadvantage. With a 1 shield flex, we're saying bye-bye to the Malamar. Galarian Slowking, flexing on this Malamar to close strong. You love to see it. Good game, well played. Again, guys, if you have access to all three of these Pokemon, definitely run this team. And here we go, another Malamar lead, reading the Malamar variation of Team 2. We do draw out the Slowbro here. And you always want to bait the Slowbro because most slow bros or kings get one shot by this high horsepower. And they know that by now, I'm sure, and they do shield and they throw to get rid of the unicorn. So grabbing the shield is key here up against this Malamar variation of Team 2, which again, I did suggest that you could run if you were uncomfortable running Metagam. So we're back in on our Slowking, knowing that we hardwall this thing, and they do go for the Surf. So now we're going to throw 3 hexes, which is proper timing, and look to get rid of the opposing Bro. That leaves you with enough energy to really be quite threatening with most teams in this meta. And we do pivot instantly into our own Malamar, and they often counter swap with the Galarian Slowking that is almost assuredly in the back. It's sort of that you swap, I swap. So many seasoned trainers are just trained to swap out when they see their opponent do the same. So we're going to go for the foul play after tanking the Surf. And I do believe we live a Shadow Ball from this range, but we throw up the shield here, and that was a misplay there. Another misplay is not committing to the farm down here, because we would have gotten that farm down, but in hindsight, I got a little antsy, to be completely honest with you guys. And now the shield advantage is gone, and now the Malamar has a health advantage on us. So that was a misplay. First and foremost, shielding the second move, because you survive, and as I mentioned in the previous battle, the opposing Malamar remaining cannot farm down. So not maintaining the shield advantage was a misplay, and that essentially sealed the deal for the opponent here. So we saw how to beat the Malamar variation, and this is how to not beat it, guys. You have to be confident in your farm down and the damage that you can tank. Yeah, so this one will not go our way. So I wanted to include a loss to the Malamar variation of Team 2 just to show you guys how not to approach this team. So yeah, this is GG's to them. They played that beautifully. And yeah, so that is how to not play against the Malamar variation. Good game, well played to our opponent. The beauty of this team here is its tremendous flexibility. All 3 Pokemon have the ability to close strong. And here we go, Rapidash on the lead here yet again. Very common lead to see in the Psychic Cup here. And we are going to shield this first move here, as they generally YOLO that high horsepower and try and get rid of one of your very strong Pokemon very early. And we're going to throw the Shadow Ball on the Malamar to chip and then make the play into our own Unicorn here. That just makes this much more manageable and really shores up this matchup here, as we do take tremendous neutral damage from those foul plays with Stab. It is absolutely insane, but that is the nature of the Unicorn, not known for its bulk. Gonna go for the Body Slam, take out the Malamar, and they do come back in with the Victini, and we are very healthy enough to pressure their shields, and at the very least, get the shielding scenario even. And we do with the bait, fearing the potential super effective high horsepower. They're trying to farm down and really load up, but it's going to cost them a shield or loaded energy, and they do throw up that final shield. That is beautiful. So now what we do, like I said, all 3 of these Pokemon have tremendous closing potential. What we're going to do is sacrifice our Malamar here, knowing how powerful of a closer our Slowking can be. We got all the shields down. We're going to trust in our Galarian Slowking to close this thing out for us. They're staying in, so we're just going to get rid of this thing. It is now debuffed to the moon, to the max. We are saying bye-bye to the Victini. And now with this shield, we can thoroughly dispatch of this very spammy Unicorn here. It is all neutralized with no shields, and we just shield. We didn't really need to, but it is, I mean, you have the shield, you might as well use it. It was gonna be over either way. They realized that. Not sure if they force closed the app or what's going on here, but we're saying bye-bye nonetheless. And as I said, all three Pokemon can close strong. We saw it with Galarian Slowking this time. Good game, well played. Again, this Malamar team, easily the best team you could possibly run in this meta. And here we go, another Malamar. I wonder what's in the back. Could it be the Bros? I think it could be. We do draw out the Galarian Slowbro here. And just as in the other matchups, we bait to get that shield. They know that they get one shot by a high horsepower, but they're trying to farm. They don't throw. And now they're going to have to give up that final shield here because we're going for this and saying bye-bye. Holy smokes. Galarian Rapidash popping off in the Psychic Cup. You'd love to see it. Oh my gosh. They didn't want to go down on shields. And we are going to get off another body slam as we go down. Holy smokes. The unicorn was a wrecking ball in this battle here. My goodness. So we're going to come in with our own Malamar, reveal the third. They go Hyper Beam. That's quite all right. We survive, and they cannot farm us down with triple resisted Psycho Cuts. Not going to happen. And we do some big neutral damage with a foul play of our own. And now they pivot into their Galarian Slowking, which we read like a book. We secured the shield advantage with our unicorn. And now it is over. They can surf bait all they want. It's just not going to help them. They're down a shield. They will not win this. Just going to let this go. Yeah, this is over. And we're just going to go straight for the Shadow Ball here. We're just another Hex or so off from the next Shadow Ball. And it's going to be interesting. They do let it go, so it's over. Yeah. Yeah, so again, this is another way to beat the Malamar variation of team number 2 here. Not a problem at all. Good game. Well played to them. So as you can see, guys, I've been doing quite all right in the Psychic Cup, which is quite refreshing, I must say. But here we go, an Alolan Raichu going to immediately pivot into Malamar. That is generally the safe swap on this team, unless you're reading the Malamar variation of team number 2. Then it's the Unicorn. We do grab an early shield from them. These Alolan Raichu trainers, they employ the shield breaker strat where they just YOLO the wild charges to either one-shot or get the shields down. So you do have to give up those shields if you don't want that to occur. But they're baiting with Thunder Punch, and then they bait again with another Thunder Punch and pivot into a Unicorn. Holy smokes. All right, we gave up 2 shields to a double bait, going for this Hyper Beam, and we're saying bye-bye to the Unicorn. Oh, you'd love to see it. Oh, nothing more satisfying, let me tell you guys. Holy smokes. Going for a foul play here on this Raichu. I don't know what they are doing here. We do get that final shield, though. And not wanting to get farmed down, we're going to throw our Slowking in here. I really don't know what they have lurking in the back here. But I do know that we survive a wild charge here. Now we're just going to get rid of this thing. It's very annoying. Very, very annoying here. Yeah, this will be more than enough to say bye-bye to the very annoying little Raichu there. And they've got a Malamar of their own in the back. We go for the Surf, not expecting them to allow us to get off a Shadow Ball, but in hindsight, perhaps they would have tanked a Shadow Ball in exchange for a tremendous energy lead. So maybe could have just tried to go for the Shadow Ball, but we take the low-hanging fruit with the Surf. And now I'm sure we're getting beamed ourselves here. We accept our fate. We throw our Unicorn in, but they don't go for a beam. I read that, so I throw Malamar in, expecting perhaps a back-to-back here. You should not be running Superpower in this meta, in my opinion, guys. Holy smokes. Hyper Beam all the way, guys. I don't know if they are running it or not, but perhaps not running Hyper Beam cost them here. I can't think of a good reason to run Superpower, to be honest. Yeah, good game. Well played to them. Oh, the one-shots were flowing in these sets with this Malamar team. Very satisfying, very fun. And here we go. Another Malamar lead. Could it be the Malamar variation of team number 2 from my top 5 best teams? It appears to be. So we draw out a Galarian Slowbro. Gonna bait, just like we did with the other Malamar variations of team number 2. And they do throw, wisely so, not wanting to get one shot or give up a 2 shield advantage. And that is okay, because again, you come right in with your Galarian Slowking and We hard wall this thing like you wouldn't believe. Unless they're running Psychic, which they did build up to. Holy smokes. And they are running Psychic. Very niche. I don't recommend it. Because as you can see, we are still at a very, very comfortable health range here. But we do throw one and then the move just to have some residual energy here. And now we are spamming our switch button. You immediately pivot into your own Malamar, and it often triggers the you switch, I switch reflex in your opponent. Again, seasoned trainers are just trained to swap when they see their opponent do it. You swap, I swap. And it generally works out because Malamar absolutely destroys an opposing Galarian Slowking. Gonna shield this here because we are well ahead on energy here, and we're just gonna throw on 4 here and look to get rid of this Slowking. Now, if they shield, I do believe we will take a shield advantage, or take some damage here in the process, I should say, because no one move will one-shot us. And again, the opposing Malamar cannot farm down with triple resisted Psycho Cuts. So yeah, we do tank the ball. And because shields are down and we know that 2 foul plays don't KO, we're beaming this opposing Malamar, doing big damage. And they are forced to throw here, but yeah, we're going to let this go. And again, 1 shield flex, what a type disadvantage with our own Galarian Slowking. How poetic! Oh, you'd love to see it. We're saying bye-bye to the Malamar, courtesy of our Slowking with a shield to spare. So again, yeah, a lot of people running the Malamar variation of Team 2. Understandably so. That is our team, guys. Good game, well played to them. But yeah, you're going to be seeing the Malamar variation of Team 2. It's a very strong backline. And I ran Team 2 with Medicham, but again, I did heavily suggest that you could run Malamar in the place of Medicham for Team 2 if you're uncomfortable running a fighter in this meta. I mentioned that many times throughout the video to make it abundantly clear that Malamar is a solid replacement to Medi on Team 2. So people are taking the advice, and that is okay because the only loss that we have to that Malamar variation was the one you saw in this video. I've lost track of what the win rate is, but that is the only loss. I wanted to show you guys how not to throw the game up against the Malamar variation of Team 2, but everything else in between, very, very straightforward for this Malamar team here. Galarian Slowking, a very, very powerful lead. You have to protect it from the dark type damage, which is why we've got our own Malamar here on the safe swap, as well as our Unicorn in the back, generally as the closer, but we saw so many Malamar variations of Team 2 that you'll want to draw out the Slowbro so that you can get an energy lead and shield advantage in that matchup. That is how you win up against the Malamar variation of Team 2. But again, yeah, everything else in between, pretty straightforward. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.